more about not just going through and translating, but sort of like we did yesterday, where we stop and we talk about the grammar and why the grammar works that way, and maybe the significance of different things, and all that good stuff. Of course, you know I'm handicapped when it comes to Caesar. That's just the nature of the beast. Like I was just reading through that summary to you, and I understand it's, first of all, it's not entertaining to have a summary read to you, but I was bored just reading it, so, and I don't care if it's unconventional to admit it, this is boring. Yes, it's gonna get interesting, but right now, like, they were just attacked, and somehow it was still boring.
Hi, I'm alive.
Hello, Emily, come on in. Yeah, we were just talking about how, somehow Caesar manages to make an attack sound boring. And make sure that you're keeping up with your videos and doing them when you're supposed to. So Perry's discussion question for this particular passage is, was the Gauls' strategy a good one? Why or why not? Do you even understand what the Gauls' strategy was? This is where I wish I'd done that thing I do sometimes where I just am like into Google, why do I care about this? And then sometimes Google tells me, not very often though, because Google doesn't know either. Okay, so what they did was they gathered together as large of a band of men as they were able. Yes? Okay, what that quam maximus manus possunt cogunt means, right? Everybody with me? So, I don't know why I just underlined that whole thing twice, but I did. So, what would you say, let's start here. What is the strategy? How did the Nervii obtain additional troops? Okay, how many of you watched the video?
I did.
Yes, yeah. But it just still kind of is boring and dry and doesn't really sink in.
Yeah, I also did the Mondays, so.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, boring and dry and having a hard time sinking. Tell me what you mean. Because this is just a summary question. This isn't even a hardcore like analyze. How did the Nervii obtain additional troops and how many did they try to obtain? What? What are you asking me, honey? You're asking me what I'm asking you?
Yeah.
The question is, how did the Gauls obtain additional troops? Where did they go? How did they get more troops?
Use the magic word.
No, it says right here. With messengers having been sent. Yes? So ablative absolute. And they sent them to the Cotrones, so that's one, to the Grudios, to the Loakos, to the Plumoxios, and to the Gaijumnos. So the Nervii are a tribe of Gauls, right? Okay. So they sent out messages. I don't know why I just put a G there. I should have put 5. They just sent out messages to 5 other tribes. Okay. They sent out a message to 5 other tribes. Okay. And others who were under their command, who were under their power. Okay. All who were under their like maybe their own power, like they're not under anybody else's control. Right? Maybe, or I could be wrong. No. That would be wrong, because then that would be suorum. Well, anyways. The Nerviorum. Okay, so it's all the people who are under the Nervii's control. So these are their allies. Yes? And then how many people were they trying to collect? Quam maximus manus possunt.
As many as possible.
Yes. Yes. And you could very easily paraphrase that. Like if you wanted to write, like, the Nervii, they send out messages, de missis nuntiis to all of the people who are their allies, qui omnes tubeorum imperio sunt, so that they could gather as many people as possible, quam maximas modus possunt cogut. Right? Okay? So, that's what's going on there. Now, this Cicero is not the Cicero that we love to hate. It's his brother. It's the brother of the Cicero that we love to hate. Okay? Threes, I don't know if you know this about me, but there's this writer. He's an orator, a really famous orator, a really famous Latin orator, and I hate him. And it breaks Mog's heart because he's a really gifted, like I said, he's a really gifted orator, but he's so full of himself. And his brother doesn't seem to be as full of himself, / we also get his brother through a Caesar filter. Yes? We also get his, no worries, we also get his brother through a Caesar filter, so I don't know if he's as full of himself as his brother is. Well, yeah, who knows? I also don't know how, we're very ageist and the Romans were not, so I don't know who's older, who's younger. I don't know how many years there are in between them. I know nothing. What?
From their perspective, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's kind of what I tell myself whenever I'm like, I don't really need to remember how old people are because the Romans don't care. Right? But we care, but we don't want to put our culture on them, right? Okay. Anyways, so if you're going through and just picking out words that you know, you should key in on hiberna. What is hiberna? Winter camps. Very good. You're thinking hibernate. Yes? Yes. Okay, so hibernating, they make winter camps. Okay. And unexpectedly rush to, so they improviso unexpectedly. I'm doing that thing that I said I wouldn't do, but I'm trying really hard not to. So they rush to the winter camps of Cicero. I'm pretty good with this. Is genitive. Yes, showing possession. Okay, and remember genitive of possession. It's the very first genitive that we learn, apostrophe S. Yes, chapter 11 is the chapter where they're like, okay kids, here's the genitive. And the first one they teach you is possession. Yes? Okay. So they rush to the winter quarters of Cicero when the report, so this is Fama, when the report about the death of Titurius had not yet reached him yet. Not yet. How many times can I say yet in a sentence? I'm sorry, I'm really tired. There was no monster for Whipple today. And it's, ugh.
Monster.
You can tell the mornings that I had they were making their ginger
monster.
mule monsters. And yeah, the Monster energy drink.
But you love demons.
I was gonna go get an energy drink, and then I realized that if I did, I would be spending as much on my energy drink as I did on my sandwich for lunch, and then I didn't want it. Cause that just felt, I don't know. Too much. Anyways, okay, so Titurius, that's what I was gonna look up in my footnote. Who is Titurius? Sabinus or Cotta? There should, anytime they give you this on the, on a test, on the AP test, they should tell you who they're talking about, but I don't know that they will. Maybe not, I could be wrong. But anyways, so you know Titurius is one of the two. Pretty good? Okay, so he doesn't know that one of the winter camps has fallen. Yes, I remember the map for the winter camps
Yeah.
and how they're all a day's or 2 or 3 days march away from each other on purpose so that they can all get to each other and support each other within a certain amount of time. Huic Quoque looks weird. What's happening with Huic Quoque? So Huic refers back to Cicero. Sorry, my surface fell while I was drawing and so it went blow up. Okay. I'm gonna come all the way down to here to interciperentur. What's going on with that? Tell me everything you can think about with this particular verb. Very good, it is passive. Good. Okay, it's passive. What else? It can't be a deponent and a passive. It has to be one or the other. You are correct with your first one that it's passive. So it's just a regular verb. Everybody see the intercipera? And remember, just yesterday we were talking about infinitives. Yes? So you see how that looks like an infinitive with an ending tacked onto it. So what is that? I know, it's been a while. When it's the present infinitive with an ending tacked onto it, it is the imperfect subjunctive. So passive, imperfect subjunctive, third person, plural. That's everything you could possibly ever need to tell anyone about a verb. Number, person, tense, mood, voice.
Case.
Verbs don't have case. Unless you're using the fourth principal part to make them. And then it's not actually the verb that has the case, it's the participle that you're forcing back into more verb role than adjective role. But it still has adjective role as well. Okay, here's another interesting verb, discussisant. Tell me everything you possibly can think about for this verb, discussisant.
Passive.
No. It is third person, plural, they, good. So, Cohen, if it's not passive, then what is it? No. Okay, so let's look at our verb endings again. Alright, our normal verb endings for active, I'm not gonna say normal, I'm gonna say active. O, S, T, that could be an M. Moose, tis, nt. Passive for everything except for everything above the line, right? Present, imperfect, and future. Passive is are, ris, tour, moor, many, intour. So that's passive / deponents. Yes? Okay. So what we have here is NT, which means it's third person plural. Active or passive? Active. Okay. So it's third person plural. Active. Today, the 8th graders, something fell off of a shelf and they were like, Mrs. Bibble, we have a spirit. I said, shh, don't talk about them. They don't like it when you talk about them. And they're like, yeah, but we have a spirit. And they kept talking. It's like, guys, you have to stop talking about them. You're going to get us all killed. And then in came the creepiest rumble of thunder that I've ever heard. It was like high pitched and it sounded like a high pitched creature growling, like, it was like, and they were all like, they all kind of looked at me with big eyes, like, I told you, stop talking about them.
You have some kind of magic power at the middle school. Cause like, I remember that one year when we were ones, and everyone was talking, you stand up, you're like, sit down, or like yelling at Sabina, I think, and you're like, sit down, and just thunder. And we're like, okay.
I remember Carter started
Remember the
going
one
to
up
you.
there? Remember the one up there? There was something before it. Well, what was before it? And then it came down.
Oh, but then there was the time that like the huge one, and we have it recorded where I screamed. And, like, did the light flicker or did I close my eyes while I screamed and go into a field? Okay, so let's go ahead and finish our infinitive discussion from yesterday. Okay, so we did present infinitives. We covered present active and present passive. Perfect infinitives are a little bit different. You take the third principal part and you add isse. Yes? Okay, so the third principal part plus isse. So for example, our verb that triggered this discussion yesterday was interficio. So let's use that one. We'll use, for example, interficisse. I'm gonna change colors. Not green though, because then it's gonna look like Christmas and it's gonna make us all sad. And not blue, because that's too close to green. I'm gonna use pink. Okay. So, that's all one word. Hang on. Okay, so interfecisse. right? Because you take the third principal part and you tack on isse, and now it means to have killed. Okay, to have verbs, but this one is killed, right? Because why not? We're here. Okay, so that's the active, and then to have been killed would be so it's the fourth principal part, fake to space essay. Everybody with me? Okay. So the whole point of this is the perfect infinitive. Yes, everybody see that? They're really easy to identify because they've got this isse business going on, right? Okay. So whenever you see discescent, everybody see the isse? So you know this was a perfect active infinitive with an ending tacked onto it, which means that it is now the pluperfect subjunctive. Because imperfect and pluperfect subjunctives are both formed from taking an infinitive and sticking on an ending. Okay? Everybody with me? Everybody okay? Does that make sense? So that's how you know discescent is pluperfect subjunctive. Now, the question is, why is it subjunctive? Just looking at it very, very casually, I'm thinking it's a relative clause of characteristic. Yes, maybe. Or it could be a dependent clause within a subjunctive clause, which means it's automatically subjunctive. You guys remember that nonsense? Yes? Okay. So, because this is a purpose clause, right? So this could just be subjunctive dependent clause of another subjunctive clause. There's a book that we no longer have called Latin for Americans. Remember that's the one that they called subjunctive by attraction. And then I went to college and one of my professors was like, "Where did you hear that term? That's ridiculous." I was like, "I don't know, I just remembered the name." And it's a short way to say that the dependent clause in a subjunctive clause goes into the subjunctive. Right? He's like, "Well, don't call it that." I'm like, "So you want me to say every time?" He's like, "Yes, I do." It's like, okay. Little baby freshman in a senior class. He didn't know. He had no idea. It was funny. But anyways, so the point is, that's why. If you want to say to me subjunctive by attraction, haha, smiley face with a tongue sticking out, and then go on to explain, because it's a dependent verb on another subjunctive clause, and so it goes into the subjunctive. You're all kind of just looking at me. I know, we're all so tired. I've said it a million times. Starting back on a Monday was mean. It's so long. Ending on a Friday was mean, and starting back on a Monday was mean.
They
Monday.
used to start on like Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
I feel like Monday and Tuesday were pretty quick and then just start to slow down.
I feel like I'm back here for like.
Feels like this week has lasted the entirety of 2019.
Dude, yesterday it felt like it was like the last day of school. I don't know about you.
Okay, so anyways, all of these things are happening. They're gonna try to fight Cicero in his camp. So basically, it sounds like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but it sounds like to me that the Nervii have tried, Ambiorix took down one of the camps by tricking them. Yeah? Okay, so now he's like, let's get together all of our people and let's go kill everybody else. And so maybe they're just planning on going from camp to wipe out the Romans. Okay? We have mixed feelings about this, yes? As people who study Rome are like, oh, but the Romans. And then, but on the other hand, as people who have been raised to think critically and what's the word, compassionately about indigenous populations, we're kind of like, but colonizing, you know, we we enjoy movies
We don't
like
really like
Avatar,
dinosaurs.
where it's the indigenous population kicking out the colonizers. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay? Oh, did you hear that they're planning on re-releasing Avatar so that they can take back their number one movie spot from Endgame?
That's not gonna work. That is not gonna work.
And then they'll just re-release Endgame. Endgame is not a fun movie to watch, though.
I
It's
feel
not
like,
one that you just sit down and watch casually.
I feel like the battle at the end of Endgame, it was a little, I don't know, it just felt like, I don't know, paper people coming up to his heroes.
My soul feels weary. Anyways, you're all just again looking at me like, so we're okay? Like, we're gonna get a call that you don't have a Latin teacher. No, we're fine. It's okay. I'm just tired in my soul. It's
Yeah.
Is it a medical condition? No, it's
No.
not.
Not just my soul, it's
It is
like
a-
part of me.
It is a philosophical affliction. I don't know. Okay, anyways, we gotta get back to this. The most boring attack scene ever. So,
And I swung and then he swung back and then we ran.
it's not that kind of boring. It's not that kind of boring. Like, it should be really interesting because it's the Gauls that are trying to get the Romans out of Gaul fighting back. Right? It should be really interesting. Why is it not
It's in the
interesting?
viewpoint of the
Caesar's writing it.
colonizers.
Very good!
Yeah,
It's all about point of view. Yes? Okay.
Boring, that's
Yes. So if you heard this story again, you would no screenwriter worth his salt would take this and write it from the perspective of Caesar.
No, it wouldn't.
Right? No, because that's not what makes a good story. Right?
People naturally want to
Okay?
root for the underdog.
Right? Imani, can you see someone taking this and turning it on its head and being from the perspective of the Gauls and making it be a smash hit Broadway play of some kind? Yeah. Yeah. Steven, I have an idea. Who are you and why are we on a first name basis? That's neither here nor there.
At the end of class, I have to show you guys, I have a Grammy, just like a really good movie idea. I'll see you guys.
Ah, we love it. We'd love to hear it. Okay. So, I'm cheating hardcore today. So to him also it happened. Hui quoque accidit. Yes, to him also it happened. Quid fuit necesse, which was necessary, that several. Okay, so why would he? So he's saying like has sent soldiers away from the winter camp. Now, to you people who have never been a soldier in a winter camp, do you know how you keep soldiers warm? With fire. You know what you need to keep fire going?
Cavemen with rocks.
Wood. Okay. So he has sent not none soldiers. Everybody good with lightities built into the language? Yes, lightities built into the language. No newly, not none, meaning some. So here is Caesar saying a reasonable, expected number of people
Leave and go get wood.
have been sent out. Qui legnationes munitiones quae causa insiduas discessissent. Okay, so remember, so ut non noli, so that some soldiers, so remember this is the purpose clause, is what I'm calling it. Hans, do you agree? Who is this Hans? Sorry.
Who's
Oh, don't break my heart again. Nope, Hans says it's a result clause. Everyone okay with me just staying with pink? Or does it not show up? Okay, good. So, this is going to trigger a result clause so that some soldiers who had departed, I'm not sure what's going on with this grammar here, lignationes, and there's not a footnote. Oh, lignatio is the art of procuring wood or collecting of wood. So, for the sake, that's what's happening. This is genitive because causa. I'm gonna stop using lines because it's gonna start getting confusing. I'm gonna start using kind of circles. Not circles, parentheses. Oy vey. Okay, so to him also it happened, which was necessary, that some soldiers who had departed into the forests for the sake of, and this is a noun that means procuring wood or collecting of wood. Like this was such an important thing, they had a word for it. Right? Like we have to say, go out into the woods and like go out into the trees and gather some twigs and branches for building a fire. They're like, no, lignatio. Yes? Okay? The process of gathering wood so we don't freeze to death. Lignatio.
Deforestation.
Well, yeah, but we're not quite to that. I was just reading something really interesting about the Golden Horde, like, effectively delaying climate change by, like, 700 million people. Because that's how many people they killed. Not the Golden Horde, but, like, the Mongols.
Oh, yeah, helpful.
Yeah.
Helpful. Yay, thank you.
That's not nice. That's not nice at all. I thought we were having fun. Cohen, he never knows quite what to do with me. This is what happens when you sit with the twos for 2 hours and play Gimkit. Not plugged in. Ugh. Well, first I was having Carrie help me do my job for Latin Club, because she can do that, she's my aide. And so I was like, here, you're gonna enter and type in all of the names for people who are in Latin Club and have paid their dues. So, sorry. What? Okay, so causa, everyone okay with lignationis and the other one? They're genitive because of causa.
Yeah.
Yes? Causa always takes the genitive. Anytime you see causa, you look for the genitive. It is a nice, safe life raft of expectations. Okay? Alright? Always takes the genitive. Causa. Alrighty. Give me 1 second. Okay. So we're gonna try to do this without that for just a second. And Munitionis is what is it here? Oh yeah, fortifying, fortification, ramparts, works, entrenchments. So they were sent out for the purpose of collecting wood and fortifying a camp. Okay, like for those of you who don't know, because maybe you're not in the military, Caesar is saying for the people who are reading his commentary, right? These are necessary things to do. Yes? Okay? Necessary things to do. That's what the, oops, no. So that a few soldiers interciperentur. Okay, so I can't point at it because we're charging for the moment. But interciperentur, a few, so to the result that a few soldiers were intercepted suddenly, repentino, yes, unexpectedly, hastily, or I'm sorry, that's not it at all. It's not an adverb. Repentino, okay, repentino goes with adventu, yes? So with the sudden, unexpected arrival of horsey guys. Yes? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm giggling because I said horsey guys and then I pulled up my screen and the screen that changes is of horses. Yes. A mama horse and a baby horse.
The ones.
They were very different colors, but
Yeah.
they were still clearly a
I
mama
didn't
and her
see
foal.
either one,
Yeah. Okay.
but- Yeah, I know my parents are going. My brother has one.
It just means you have a strong gene pool. My family's the same way. Okay. So, here we go. So, interciperentur, again, passive, third person, plural, imperfect subjunctive. Subjunctive because it's in a result clause. Yes, we talked about that up here. Okay. They are intercepted by the sudden arrival of horsey guys. Ah! Okay. I kind of want to make this exciting because Caesar made it boring. Okay. His circumventis magna manu eburones nervii adjuatuki atque horum omnium soci et clientes legionum oppugnare incipiunt. So, I see an infinitive here. Why do you think we have an infinitive? Ari, very good. Ari tells me that it is an infinitive. Excellent. What word triggered the infinitive? It's not one that we see a whole lot, triggering infinitives. But it does normally take an infinitive. Incipiunt means to begin, yes? So they begin to fight. Right? Again, with if you're doing anything other than essays or word for word translation, where you're graded like multiple choice, short answer, you can go through and pick out things you're like, oh, they begin to fight. Okay? So the eburones, the nervii, and the adjuatuci, and all of those kind of who were their comrades and their clients begin to fight the legion. Yes? That's the other thing about just kind of going through and picking out the words you know, then a lot of times the other pieces start to fall into place. Yes, you're like, okay, so they're beginning to fight. They're beginning to fight the legion. Who's beginning to fight the legion? Well, all of these people. How are they fighting them? In a large band. And remember I said yesterday, I can't even think of a present participle, ablative absolute. Here it is. With these surrounding, right? Yes, are you with me? With these surrounding in a big band, the eburones, the nervii, the adjuatuci, and all of those begin to fight the legion. Okay, so here's the legion. Yes, and then we have the eburones and the nervii and the if I can write and spell, adjuatuci, and then we have the socii and clientes. You like word pictures? Yes? Okay? So his circumventis, again, it is an ablative absolute, which we talked about just yesterday, right here. Okay? And we talked about present active participle with the noun verbing, so with them surrounding, okay? They begin to fight the legion. Okay. Celeriter, what kind of word is celeriter?
Do you know where I should put the rest of these?
Nope, if they're not in that chair, I have no idea. Sorry. Okay, so celeriter, what's going on with celeriter? We see iter. Oh goodness. Okay, babies, here we go. Adjectives and adverbs. Okay, so we have a normal first and second declension adjective, us, Yes? Okay. This one, if you want to make it an adverb, you change us